All right, for more on the college football playoff picture, welcome in CBS Sports senior writer Jerry Palm here with his risers and fallers in Week 12. And Jerry, I think it's pretty obvious who your biggest riser was, the team out west in Los Angeles.
Yeah, USC for sure. Their first real quality win of the season on the road at UCLA. Really kind of a statement win for them, even though it was back and forth. It ends up only being, I think, a 3-point win or a 4-point win. It was still, a big win for USC in terms of saying that we are here to compete for a spot in the college football playoff. Now, they still have Notre Dame next week, another ranked team, Pac-12 championship, which they clinched tonight, another ranked team. So they have a chance to pick up their 3 best wins of the season right here at the end. And I think that could make a very positive impression on the committee.
So if they win out, if they beat Notre Dame next week, because we're going to play the hypothetical game, of course, they beat Notre Dame next week and they win the Pac-12 title game, are they in to the playoff?
I think they're the favorite, to get into the playoff. But one thing that could mess that up would be LSU beating Georgia. They could knock them out. But I think 12-1 USC is ahead of 12-1 Clemson, and I think they're ahead of the 11-1 loser of the Big Ten game next week between Ohio State and Michigan. That's especially true if it's Michigan. There might be a little bit of debate with Ohio State, but I think they finish ahead of Ohio State as well.
Good context there, and certainly the name brand helps as well, Jerry. All right.
No, I don't know. That's a bunch of hooey. That doesn't mean anything. TCU's going to make the playoff, and they have the worst name brand, if you will, of anybody in the top 10.
Right, but if you have a 0 next to your win-loss record, that helps. That helps a little bit, whether or not that your name brand, because we saw Cincinnati last season, so you know how that goes. I think it's pretty obvious who your faller was in Week 12, and I didn't expect this to be the faller in Week 12.
No, I didn't either, but it has to be Tennessee. I mean, this was the team that had the best chance of making the college football playoff at 11-1. And they were no-shows tonight. I mean, South Carolina jumped on them from the beginning and ran them out of the building. And then, to add, pile on with Tennessee, it looks like they've lost Hendon Hooker, certainly for this game. And it's one of those non-contact injuries. Those rarely work out well. This could end up being a really devastating blow for Tennessee going forward for the rest of this season as well.
Indeed, a tough, disappointing loss. Really an embarrassment for Tennessee as they go on the road looking to continue a magical season. And unfortunately, that does not happen and as they give up 63 points to South Carolina. All right, another set of college football playoff rankings will be released on Tuesday. Who do you have in your top 6?
Well, I think the top 4 will remain unchanged. Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, who play each other next week, and then TCU still undefeated on that last-second field goal. Well, nothing easy this week for even the teams that won. Then number 5, USC jumping up ahead of number 6, LSU, and then Tennessee, of course, falling out.
All right, USC up to 5 with their win over UCLA, their first win against a ranked opponent this season. Jerry Palm with his risers and fallers in Week 12. Jerry, thanks. Good perspective there on the paths to the college football playoff for a couple of teams there. So here's a look at the odds to win the college football playoff. Georgia, the favorite to run it back at -130, followed by Ohio State at +210. I like Ohio State here. So if you give me plus money, of course I like Ohio State. I'm a Buckeye fan. So, but big test. Again, as you heard Jerry mention, as we've been talking about all week, Ohio State and Michigan renewing pleasantries next week in another edition of the game as they meet undefeated for the first time since 2006.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.